Luca smirked across the roast chicken glow of my parents' dining room and raised his voice. "You'll always be a renter. People like you don't buy houses." Laughter circled the table. I didn't argue. I rested my palm on the canvas bag by my chair, feeling the stiff edge of a folder he knew nothing about. The deed with my name in black and white. If you've ever been underestimated by your own family, you know the itch under the skin. In our house, the spotlight had one setting and it always found Luca. Report cards, trophies, a corner office later, every milestone framed and displayed. I learned to clap on cue and keep to the margins. As adults, the script didn't change. He bought a suburban spread and a shiny SUV. My parents spoke about his mortgage like a noble calling. Me? I rented an apartment over a laundromat, worked marketing days, and took freelance design at night. I packed lunches, brewed the cheapest coffee, stitched my winter coat twice. Coworkers rolled their eyes at my thrift. I rolled numbers in a spreadsheet until they lined up like stepping stones. At Sunday dinners, Luca would grin and ask about my shoebox, a phrase that made everyone chuckle as if cruelty were seasoning. "He's teasing," Dad would say. Teasing felt like being sanded down. What no one saw, the months of listings, the quiet Tuesday I signed in a sunlit office, the key realtor Maya slid across wood that smelled of lemon oil. I kept the news to myself. Not secrecy, strategy. At Dad's birthday dinner, when Luca performed again, I chose silence, but I went home decided. Next time he reached for a laugh, I would reach for the folder. The next Sunday, the house hummed, glasses chiming, a game murmuring from the den. I took the usual seat, back to the window, bag at my feet. Luca carved his steak and glanced up like a showman finding his light. "So, Nora," he said, dragging out my name. "How's the shoebox? Rent jump again? You could save a bundle by marrying someone with a deed." A ripple of laughter. Mom's soft, useless Luca, and Dad's chuckle that pretended to be neutral. Aunt Claire studied the salt shaker as if it held a map. I set my fork down. The clink was clean. My heart didn't race. It counted 1, 2, like steps on a staircase I had already climbed. "You're right," I said, meeting his eyes. "Not everyone gets to win." I reached into the bag and drew out the folder. Paper slid across linen. He opened it with half a smirk, then paused. Deed of ownership. My name, the parcel, the date. "What is this?" he muttered. "My house," I said. "Closed last month. Keys in my pocket." Silence braided through the room. Claire leaned in. Mom blinked, trying to catch up. Dad's knife hovered, then settled. Luca flushed. "So what? One little place, probably overpriced." I didn't bite. My phone lit on the table. Realtor Maya. I answered on speaker. "Hi, Maya." "Hi, Nora. Just confirming the utility transfers are set for your property. Congratulations again." "Thanks." I ended the call and slipped the phone away. No one laughed. Even the TV in the den seemed to turn itself down. Luca stared at the page like it might rearrange. For once, I didn't feel small. I felt level with the table. Luca shoved back his chair so hard it squealed. "This is ridiculous," he snapped, and stalked out. The dining room settled into a new shape without him. Mom touched the folder as if it might burn. "Nora," she said, "why didn't you tell us?" "Because every time I tried it turned into a joke," I said. Dad stared at his plate. Claire squeezed my hand. "I want to see it," Mom said at last. "I'll bring lemon bars." "Bring work gloves," I said, surprising myself with a smile. "The yard needs love." A week later, we stood on my porch. I turned the key and let them walk ahead. "This is lovely," Claire murmured. Dad set a toolbox on the counter. "Door sticks," he said. "We can plane it." Mom watched me. "I'm sorry," she said. "We should have told him to stop." It wasn't a speech, just a hinge opening. I nodded. We spent the afternoon pulling weeds, hauling branches, taking turns with the stubborn door. When it finally swung clean, we clapped, laughing for once without edges. Dad set the plane. Thin curls of wood feathered the floor. Mom wiped counters. We listed mulch, a hose, rods. Nothing grand, just tasks we could finish. It felt like starting on more honest terms. That evening, I sat on the step, forearms green with work, listening to my street. My phone buzzed. A text from Luca. No smirk, only I didn't know. Congratulations. I typed back, thank you. The porch light clicked on. I held the key, cool and certain, and understood the win. Not a clap, not a headline, just a home that answered to my name.